I think it started with a group photo. Which sounds stupid. Like blaming your divorce on a misplaced emoji. But that's how it felt. We were at Myra's place. Her new loft with the fake exposed brick and the succulent that keeps dying, but no one has the heart to throw away. Everyone brought wine and their trauma and a new shade of lipstick. It was supposed to be healing. Or whatever the word is this month. We said things like safe space and hold each other in tenderness, with our legs crossed just so. Myra took the photo. Group of 6. 5 in the frame. I was setting out the hummus. I thought it was just timing. Then she posted it. Grateful for my girls. My coven. Tagged everyone but me. I stared at it longer than I should have. Zoomed in. Saw half my elbow, cropped out like a bad ex. Told myself it wasn't a thing. Posted a story of the wine label. Girls' night nail polish sparkles. I still don't know who I was performing for. Backtrack. I met Myra 3 years ago at a panel called Burnout is Political, Feminism in the Age of Capitalism. She spoke in full paragraphs. Wore a jacket with power shoulders. Had that voice people mistake for authority. Low, slow, final. I thought she was the future. She asked if I wanted to get coffee after. I said yes, even though I had a migraine. We talked about the illusion of work-life balance and shared trauma over lavender lattes. I followed her on Insta before we even hugged goodbye. She followed back. It felt like falling in love. But professional. Feminist kinship. Mutual admiration. High-functioning codependency dressed up as solidarity. We built something. Group chats, Google Docs, brunches with side convos about reproductive rights. We made jokes about starting a commune. We said, I got you, like punctuation. There were 4 of us at the core. Me, Myra, Dasha, Leah. Plus satellites. Women who came to the talks, stayed for the wine, disappeared after a few months. They rotated. We didn't. I used to think feminist community meant safety. Now I think it means getting really good at pretending your feelings aren't hurt by people who say they don't believe in hierarchy. Because how do you call out subtle exclusion in a space built on empowerment? You can't. You either sound bitter or unstable. And you know what they say about women who say they're hurt? Too much. Too dramatic. Too emotional. Or worse, not intersectional enough. There's no room for jealousy when you're supposed to be liberated. The shift was so slow I almost didn't feel it. A missed invite here. A vague caption there. A Zoom call I found out about later. Oh, it was last minute. Oh, I thought you were busy. Oh, it was just Dasha and Leah. We didn't think you'd care. I started using emojis more in the group chat. To soften. To make sure I didn't sound off. They used them less. A month ago, Dasha posted a selfie with the caption, "Grateful for my anchor growing heart." It was her and Leah at the beach. I typed gorgeous and deleted it. Typed cuties and deleted that too. Settled on a heart emoji. White. Neutral. Boring. They didn't like it. Like, literally, they didn't click like. I wish I could say I didn't notice. Last week, Myra posted a carousel. Her, Dasha, Leah. Yoga retreat in upstate. Recharging with my soul family cyclone. I thought we were a soul family. I liked the post. No one replied to my comment. I don't know what I did. Or maybe I do, but I'm not allowed to say it out loud. Maybe it was that panel I missed. The one I said felt too performative. Maybe it was when I brought a white guy to trivia night. Even though he calls himself a feminist and actually listens. Maybe it was the time I said I didn't agree with that Medium article Myra wrote. But I said it nicely. With caveats. I said, I just wonder if we're over-theorizing burnout while still performing productivity through social media curation. She laughed. Tight. Said, huh. Okay. I replay that moment sometimes like it's a voicemail. My therapist says I need to speak my needs. She says if something feels off, I should address it. But that assumes you still have access to the room. I told her I think I've been ghosted. She said, friendships evolve. I said, this feels like death with glitter on it. I check the group chat less now. I mute it, then unmute, like some digital rosary. They still talk. Mostly about their projects. Grant money. New collaborators. I stopped sending my updates. They stopped asking. My chest feels tight when I see their names. Like I'm bracing for a joke I don't get. I scroll past their posts but never mute them. Self-flagellation is a hobby now. I keep thinking I should confront Myra, but I don't know what I'd say. Hey, why did you slowly phase me out like an expired coupon? Why did you call me your safe space and then build a new one without me? Why am I grieving people who are still alive and still posting? Tonight, I bought a bottle of the same wine we used to drink at meetings. Texted you up to no one. Thought about posting a selfie with the caption reclaiming solitude. But that felt dishonest. I'm not reclaiming anything. I'm just not invited anymore. My phone buzzed. Instagram notification. Dasha posted. Healing is remembering who TF you are, Rose. I don't think I remember. It's weird how you can still love someone while practicing not to mention them out loud. I've been unlearning names. Like old passwords. I told my new coworker about this activist friend who used to throw these events with scented candles and zines and soft lighting. I didn't say Myra. Didn't mention how we used to match our outfits by accident. It felt easier. Cleaner. To reduce her to a role, like a character in someone else's essay. The thing no one tells you about feminist spaces is that there's often a soft hierarchy, but everyone pretends it isn't there. You start to notice the micro-rituals. Who's allowed to speak first? Who gets the double tap on Instagram stories? Who pours the wine versus who picks the restaurant? Who gets babe and who gets no reply? I used to think this was all in my head. Now I think it was in my head and that made it real. The last time I saw them in person, it was at a public panel. I wasn't speaking, just attending. Paid for my own ticket, even though Myra was hosting. I wore a blazer I hadn't worn in a year. Stood in the back. Smiled small. Afterward, I approached them near the snack table. Leah gave me a one-arm hug, like she'd just remembered me from a dream. Dasha looked vaguely at my forehead while saying, "So good to see you." Myra was talking to a blue-check journalist in a slip dress. She looked through me. Not past me, through me. Like a ghost she forgot she used to believe in. I left without saying goodbye. Told myself it was for the best. I kept the name tag though. It's on my desk. A tiny proof of attendance in a world where I'm not sure I still count. Some nights I scroll all the way back to our group chat in 2022. The way we used to say love you without irony. The voice notes. The emotional debris. The chaos and the care. I keep trying to pinpoint the moment it shifted. Like maybe if I could find the sentence that ruined everything, I could edit it. Revise it. Unwrite it. But the truth is it wasn't one sentence. It was a slow editing out. Like someone kept trimming the fat until I was the fat. New people keep saying, "You're so emotionally intelligent," and I smile like it's a compliment, not a side effect of being constantly unsure if I'm being liked or merely tolerated. I joined a new feminist Discord server last week. The vibe is cottagecore meets Marxist hot takes. Everyone uses lowercase and no one says, "Hey," it's always "hey," or "hi," or "hello growing heart." I'm learning the language again. Trying not to bring my rot with me. Someone posted an intro. I'm here to find soft community plus radical accountability. I almost laughed. But I reacted with a heart. We don't mock what we used to want. We just quietly leave it behind. Sometimes I think about the apology Myra posted last fall. It wasn't to me. But it was timed right after she got called out in that anonymous thread. You remember, the one that said she used safe space as a shield but made interns cry. She posted a Notes app screenshot. I'm always learning. I hold deep remorse. I will do better. It got 3,000 likes. I typed out a comment and deleted it. I wish you'd said that to me. But maybe she didn't mean me. Maybe I was a footnote. Maybe I was just another unpaid collaborator who got too loud. A mutual friend messaged me recently. "Hey, I noticed you're not around much. Are you okay?" I stared at it for 10 minutes. Tried to decide if it was concern or subtle shade. I replied, "Yeah, all good. Just focusing inward lately sparkles." They didn't respond. I tried to write an essay about all this. Something about friendship breakups in feminist spaces. But it felt messy. Too angry. Too sad. Not quote tweetable. How do you explain to a reader that your grief is shaped like a group chat? That the worst part isn't being ghosted, it's watching people pretend they were never close to you in the first place? My Google Doc title is Maybe I Just Need New Friends or a Lobotomy. So far, it's one sentence long. She called me her sister, then blocked me when I cried too loudly. I saw Dasha in a cafe last week. She didn't see me. Or maybe she did and chose not to. She was laughing with a new group. They had matching tote bags. I ordered a matcha and sat 2 tables over. Watched her touch her earring the way she always did when nervous. Felt something in my throat. Not sadness. Not quite. Envy? Recognition? Or maybe just the raw ache of being replaced so smoothly you start to doubt you were ever there. When I left, I threw my coffee cup in the recycling bin too hard. The lid popped off. Matcha splattered on the floor. No one noticed. I wiped it up with a napkin. Felt small, but efficient. Like a ghost that cleans up after itself. I keep wondering if this is just what happens when women grow up. Or grow apart. Or grow brands. Like maybe there's a threshold, a saturation point where intimacy turns into PR, when your feelings stop being feelings and start being optics. I still remember the night Myra cried in my passenger seat. This was back when she was still finding her voice, before the blue checks and the podcast circuit. We had just left a talk where a man on the panel quoted her research without credit. She said, "I don't think I can do this," and I said, "You already are." I held her hand while she tried not to break. I bought her fries and drove in circles until she could laugh again. Now I wonder if she remembers that at all. I told Leah something I never told anyone, that I used to count the minutes between texts in group chats, convinced it meant something about my worth. She said, "Babe, we're all insecure. It doesn't mean you're not loved." She said that. And then later she archived the chat. Never reopened it. I know because I tested it. Sent a birthday gif. No one reacted. 3 dots, then nothing. The kind of silence you can't quote for clout. Every so often, I get tagged in a memory on Instagram. Some panel or party from 2021. Me and the girls, wine in hand, laughing like we'd invented softness. I look at my face in those photos. How I leaned into them. Like maybe if I touched enough shoulders, I'd be allowed to stay. The comments are still there. Icons. Dream team. Name a more powerful group. Funny. I don't think any of us talk now. But we still live in each other's archives. I started following new people. Feminists with uncurated feeds. Messy kitchens. Tired eyes. Not always on. One of them posted, "Friendship is just romantic relationships without breakup rituals." I saved it. Shared it. No one from the old circle liked it. I don't think they see me anymore. Not even in the corners. I bumped into one of the satellite girls last month, Renee. She always floated around the periphery, bright and detached. She hugged me like nothing had changed. Asked how I was. Said, "I miss your mind," which sounded real. I almost cried. She said, carefully, "It's weird, huh? The way everything kind of dissolved." I nodded too quickly. Then she said, "I think Myra doesn't know how to hold people once they stop orbiting her." And, just like that, the air changed. Not judgment, just truth. We split a croissant and didn't say her name again. I keep waiting for the apology. Not public. Not performative. Just a voice note. Hey, I've been thinking about you. And I'm sorry we let it break like that. But I think waiting is just another way to grieve. And I'm tired of grieving people who don't seem to feel the loss. Some nights I still rehearse messages in my head. Things like, was it me? Did I cross some invisible line? Was I too much or not enough of the right kind of broken? Then I remember Myra once said, "Accountability isn't about apology, it's about showing up differently." I guess she showed up differently. Just, not for me. I deleted our old shared drive. The one with our planning docs and half-written pitches. There was a folder called Future Things Light Bulb. It had a single note. "Let's never lose each other, okay?" I didn't cry. Just stared at it for a bit. Then hit delete. A small mercy. I'm seeing new people now. Not romantically. Emotionally. Women who ask, "How's your body today?" instead of, "What are you working on?" We sit on floors. Bring snacks. Talk about disappointment without branding it. One of them, Cam, said, "Sometimes loss is an initiation." I think that's true. But also, sometimes loss is just loss. And you carry it. Quietly. like a stone in your coat pocket. Myra posted another story last night. Her and Leah at a gallery. Wine, soft light, laughing. Caption: grateful for chosen family. We've been through it all, Dizzy. It stung. And then it didn't. Which scared me more. Like I'd gone numb in the exact shape of them. I want to say I don't care anymore. That I've grown. Healed. Moved on. But the truth is messier than that. It's not pain now, not like before. It's more like background noise. A low, constant hum that only stops when I'm distracted enough. They live in my muscle memory. In the way I second-guess a text. In how I never post a caption without rereading it for tone. I don't think they broke me. I think I reshaped myself to stay close, and now I can't remember what I looked like before. The group chat is dead. Officially. Dasha removed herself last week. No message, no drama. Just gone. Leah changed the title to a single dot. Myra archived it. I watched it happen in real time, like watching the credits roll on a show I thought I was still in. There was a second, a very specific second, where I almost said something. Just, so we're done then? But I didn't. Because naming it felt like begging. And I've begged enough without using the word. There's a softness to betrayal when it doesn't come with a scene. No screaming, no unfollows, no long texts. Just a shift in frequency. They don't hate me. They just don't include me. And that's harder to grieve. Because you can't fight silence. I talk about it in therapy now like it happened to someone else. Use phrases like narrative rupture and emotional disenfranchisement. My therapist nods slowly, like she's trying not to pick a side. She asks, what did those friendships mean to you? And I say, everything. And now, nothing. Or maybe worse, nostalgia. She tells me nostalgia is just grief without teeth. I write that down. Add it to a growing list of things I feel but can't fix. I've been rewriting my website bio. Used to say, feminist community builder. Now it just says writer. There's something cleaner about it. Less loaded. Less aspirational. I don't think I believe in community the same way anymore. Or maybe I just don't believe in my own ability to keep it. Every group I've been in has ended in quiet exits and louder absences. I want to believe that doesn't mean I'm the problem. But I also don't want to be naive. There's a name for women who keep losing female friends. And it's never said with kindness. Last weekend, I went to a housewarming party. New people. Indie music. Thrifted plates. The kind of event where you say, I love this energy, even if you're panicking. I stayed close to the snack table. Talked to a girl named Yuna about plant death and climate despair. She looked me in the eye the whole time. Didn't check her phone once. I told her I liked her skirt. She said thanks, it was my sister's before she got sober. Just direct. Weird. Warm. We added each other on Insta. No mutuals. It felt like a clean start. Myra posted a clip from her latest panel. Her voice was steady, polished. She said, we need to create friendships that can hold rupture. Not just the aesthetic of sisterhood. I stared at the caption. I think it was meant to be radical. But all I could hear was static. There's something cruel about people who can name the harm they do without admitting they did it to you. Some mornings I think about messaging her. Just, hey, I miss you. Not to fix anything. Just to tell the truth. But I don't. Because I'm scared she'd leave me on read. Or worse, reply with something kind and final. And I'd rather keep the version of her that exists in memory than meet the one who's already moved on. The digital timeline feels like a museum of ghosts. I visit. I observe. I don't touch. There's a folder on my phone titled Proof. Screenshots of messages. Photos. Voice notes. I don't look at them much. Just knowing they're there makes me feel less crazy. That once, we were real. That once, we loved each other in lowercase chaos. That once, we believed we'd never become this. I'm learning now that some endings are quieter than the beginning of a sentence. That friendship doesn't always die with a bang. Sometimes it just stops being tender. And when that happens, when the soft space hardens, you either leave or get cut on the corners. I stayed too long. So I bled. I dreamed about them again last night. We were on a rooftop. Laughing. Drinking orange wine. Someone said, remember when we thought this would last forever? And I said, we still could. But when I looked down, my phone was cracked. Notifications frozen. Nothing coming in. I woke up with a sore jaw. I think I was clenching in my sleep again. This morning, I made coffee and stared at the mug Myra gave me. Off-white, chipped, says radical softness as a weapon in loopy serif font. I almost threw it away last month. Couldn't. It holds just the right amount of bitterness. I've been journaling again. Not for healing. Not for clarity. Just to see if I still sound like myself. Today's entry said, I think I'm mourning the idea of being held by people who also wanted to be seen. Which might not make sense. But it felt true when I wrote it. My hands shook a little. Not in sadness, just adrenaline. Writing about them still does that. Like memory is a live wire I'm trying to hold with dry hands. I ran into Leah at a bookstore. First time in months. She was holding a copy of Bell Hooks like a shield. We did the awkward half-hug. She smelled like narrowly and resolution. She said, you look amazing. I said, you too. Neither of us meant it, but not in a cruel way. It was like watching an old favorite show on mute. All the shapes were there. The meaning gone. She asked how I was really. I almost answered. But something in her eyes, polite, patient, distant, told me she wasn't staying long. I said, just working a lot. She smiled. Same. We didn't say anything about the others. As if the silence had terms and conditions. As if we'd signed some unspoken NDA. Later that night, I typed her a message. I miss how we used to be. Even if it wasn't perfect. Then I deleted it. I think people believe feminist friendships can't rot. Because we curated them so carefully. Because we chose each other. But sometimes all that language, sisterhood, holding space, radical love, just becomes prettier armor. And underneath, the same things happen. Silence. Exclusion. Hierarchy. The slow freeze. We just don't call it what it is. New people keep telling me I'm so grounded. I think they mean tired. But I say thank you. I don't try as hard anymore. Don't explain myself in circles. Don't send essays as replies. I used to think I had to be emotionally fluent to be loved. Now I think I just have to be quiet enough not to annoy anyone. Progress? I started following Kim on V. Real. She posts photos of burnt eggs and messy desks. Last week she tagged me in a meme. Therapist, and how do we sit with that feeling? Me, in silence. With sunglasses. And a mild stomachache. I laughed out loud. Real, stupid, belly laugh. It felt like breath. Not like performing breath. I think that counts for something. Myra posted a birthday photo. Her, Dasha, Leah, 3 others I don't know. Caption. We hold each other in ways words can't touch. I didn't like it. I didn't react. I didn't screenshot. Instead, I closed the app and texted Cam. Wanna come over and not talk for a bit? She said, on my way. Bringing snacks. No one called it healing. But it was. Sometimes I still feel the shape of them. In the quiet moments. In the songs we used to send each other. In the way I almost reach for my phone when something good or terrible happens. I used to want answers. Now I just want peace. Maybe it was no one's fault. Maybe we just outgrew each other's fantasies. Or maybe love needs maintenance and we thought it would self-sustain. Either way, it's done. Not in a violent, cinematic way. Just done. Like an open tab I finally closed. Today I sat on the floor, barefoot, laptop open. Typed, maybe I just need new friends or a lobotomy, as a title again. But this time, I added something underneath. Or maybe I just needed the truth. The most devastating thing a safe space can do is decide you're not worth saving and never say it out loud. Then I saved it. And logged off.